Welcome to Sensing the Sacred, Aromatic Pathways to Psychedelic Healing, in which I'll explore the role of scent in deep healing and altered states of consciousness. This is my life's work, and I'm excited to introduce it to you. I'll share my thoughts, perspectives, what I've learned, and lead you on a brief guided meditation. I want to give you a taste of how we can shift consciousness through scent. I'm Dr. Florian Birkmayer. I was trained and practiced conventional psychiatry, and now I'm an ex-psychiatrist. I've had a lifelong interest in aromas and aromatherapy, and have incorporated it into my work, including psychedelic therapy with ketamine for over 16 years. If you're familiar with psychedelic therapy, if you've done it, if you've had friends who have done it, or if you're a practitioner, you may have experienced the limitations of psychedelic therapy. People struggle and resist, which is what I call ego barriers, or people have ego whiplash or psychedelic narcissism, or worst of all, the benefits don't last and just disappear. I've always incorporated aromatic allies into my psychedelic therapy work with ketamine, and I know from experience that this enhances it. At the same time, I've been very frustrated with conventional psychiatry, with the overwhelming power of the DSM diagnosis and medications, which contribute to a sense of disability and disempowerment. I'm a big advocate for psychedelic therapy, but we must not repeat the mistakes of the behavioral health industry. And I think the field of psychedelic therapy is at great risk of doing that. Psychedelic therapy is being turned into a product, something companies can make a profit from, something that requires a diagnosis and can perpetuate the sense of disability. The rituals required for deep healing with psychedelics have been forgotten. People are seen as consumers, not needing the sacred reconnection that is central to being human and that good psychedelic therapy and aromatic allies can offer. And when I say aromatic allies, I mean high quality, alive, small batch essential oils. I also call them the molecules of connectedness because plants evolve these volatile mixtures of molecules to communicate, not just with each other, but also with us. Our brains and beings evolved over millennia in a world filled with volatile aromatic molecules. We have olfactory receptors all over our brains and bodies. We're meant to be in deep connectedness, but we have forgotten and we've become cut off. We've been trapped in our ego and in modern society. I want you to remember the power of scent in emotional regulation, trauma healing, and spiritual connection. The word trauma is actually ancient Greek that literally means cut off or wound. And we're all cut off from each other, from nature, and from ourselves. And by that I mean our psyche, our unconscious. Let me demonstrate. If you have an aromatic aloe handy, such as an alive essential oil, or even a sprig of an aromatic plant, I want to lead you on a brief guided aromatic meditation so you can really connect. Ideally, you have one of our aromatic allies available from kathysatars.com. Most ideally, you have our rose attar, which is rose petals distilled into sandalwood. And rose is very heart opening, and sandalwood is very centering and great for meditation. So take your aroma, you can put it on a scent strip, you can put a few drops here right under your nose, and start with a few falling out breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale deeply through your mouth. Keep doing this. And as you do this, and if you need help, you can put a hand on your belly, use your diaphragm to breathe. As you inhale, your belly goes out, and as you exhale, your belly goes in. Just use your diaphragm. No need to rib breathe. It's almost like the breath is the tide. The tide comes in as you inhale, and the tide goes out as you exhale. And the air we breathe connects us to everyone around us. The first thing we do when we're born is we inhale. The last thing we do before we die is exhale. The air we breathe, the oxygen is made by plants. We are utterly dependent on them and are deep connected. So as you breathe, smell the aroma you've chosen, ideally rose attar, and allow it to travel on your breath. It enters your body, You may smell it and just imagine it traveling throughout your physical body. You're familiar with your physical body, and the aroma may go straight to a certain area of your physical body, a particular area that is in need of attention. And in that awareness, that observer awareness, that heart awareness that's way beyond ego and intellectual awareness, reflect, be aware of what the aroma is drawing your attention to. But there's no need to judge it, no need to change it. Whatever area of your physical body the aroma draws your attention to, just observe, just witness, just behold it. Let it be in your awareness. There may be a few areas of your physical body that the aroma is bringing your awareness to. So just review them, be aware of them. There may also be areas of your physical body that are kind of hiding. They're sort of in the background, or they might be behind some fog or in some darkness or out of focusness. And let the aroma that you're smelling, that you're journeying with, bring those into your awareness. Areas you may have forgotten about. Again, no need to judge, no need to change, no need to fix, just be aware. And with your next breath, shift your awareness to your emotional body. We all have an intuitive sense of what that means, and just go with that. But if you need a suggestion, some people feel the emotional body is an invisible, subtle body that's a little larger than our physical body. And again, as you shift your awareness to that, let the aroma bring to your awareness what's going on in your emotional body. What emotions are ready to be observed in your awareness. And again, no need to judge, no need to change, no need to fix anything. Just let these emotions appear in your awareness. Like the aroma is presenting them so you can become aware of them, that they're your emotions. Some of them may not be your emotions. And again, the aroma and your awareness will allow you to discern that. You can safely discard any emotions that aren't yours and allow yourself to genuinely feel the emotions that are yours, including emotions that may have been sort of hiding in the background underneath conscious perception in the unconscious. Just observe, just witness, just behold. The aroma is here to guide you and to convince you and the emotions that it is safe to feel them now, that it is safe for them to come to your awareness. And at each stage along this guided journey, you can pause the recording and spend as much time as you need. And with your next breath, shift your awareness to your mental body. Again, I think you have an intuitive sense of what that means, but if you need guidance, here's a couple descriptions. Some people think our mental body is another invisible body, a subtle body that's a bit larger than our physical and emotional bodies and surrounds us. I often think of it as like a river of thoughts that we're usually being swept along by the thoughts and by the patterns, the path the river takes, the sort of form our thoughts take. And in this case, I invite you to sort of sit by the side of the river and watch the thoughts go by without being swept away by them. And if a thought grabs you, just acknowledge it and imagine yourself sitting back by the side of the river observing. So again, with the guidance of the aromatic ally, of the essential oil, allow your awareness to behold and to witness what thoughts you're having and the form your thoughts are taking. What is the path of the river? It might be very rushing, very fast, and very set in its way, like it's carved out a deep canyon. And often our thoughts are like that, that they're in very predetermined ruts. And now is your opportunity, through being in your heart awareness and through the aroma, that you can observe this without being swept away by it. Take a few more breaths, reflect, observe, witness, behold. If you need to pause the recording, you can. And with your next breath, shift your awareness to your spiritual body. Again, intuitively, I think you know what that is. Even people who think I'm all material, I don't have a spirit, have a spiritual body, they're just not conscious of it. You can think of it again as a larger, invisible, subtle body surrounding your other bodies, your physical, emotional, and mental bodies. I often think of it as a landscape, which is sort of different in contrast to my ego mind. There's me, and then there's this landscape that is still part of me, but my ego doesn't see it as that. And again, see what's going on through the scent in your spiritual body. Let the scent make you become aware of that, to witness and to behold. And in the same way that in a landscape you can see the sky, at night you can see the stars, when you're tuned into your spiritual body, when that's where your awareness is open to, you can glimpse what's beyond your individual. You can glimpse maybe your ancestors, nature around you, close friends and loved ones. All those parts, sort of like where the roots of the tree go in the soil, in a way that's where the roots, your roots go in the collective unconscious of the transpersonal realm. And just observe what patterns may be going on there. And take as long as you need. Pause this tape, this recording if you need. And then from this vantage point, go back to your mental body, your emotional body, and your physical body. And reflect on what came up in each of these. And maybe there's a connection. Maybe it's something that manifests in a certain way in your physical body, and in a different way in your emotional body, and a different way in your mental body and spiritual body. Maybe you can see how it's really part of the same wound, part of the same cut offness, part of the same leak. And just by becoming aware of it, a shift has happened. Again, you may have been completely unaware of these areas in your bodies, and you may have been unaware of how they're connected. So take a few more breaths with this shifted awareness. Thank the aromatic ally. And when you're ready, sort of rejoin me in this reality in which we communicate in this way. So I hope you're able to feel the rapid shift in your awareness, and that your understanding of what's possible with psychedelic healing and aromatic healing enhanced by aromas has been permanently transformed. I want to tell you briefly about my story. I've been fascinated by aromas since I was a child. In medical school, I used certain essential oils to help me study by improving focus and recall. After trying to fit into a conventional psychiatric training and academic practice, I opened my private practice and felt I could finally offer my clients aromas, just be myself. And then in 2009, I started offering ketamine, always with aromas. In my own experience, as well as with my clients, I felt firsthand how aromas could remove the ego barriers, invite me in deeper into the psychedelic healing space, and lead to lasting change. In the psychedelic space, I really met the souls of the aromatic plants, and I took their teachings seriously. And this essential oil that I just invited you to use, rose attar, which again is actually rose into sandalwood, can act as an anchor for psychedelic experiences. It can help in preparation beforehand, during the journey, and especially afterwards for integration, which is the most important. How do we incorporate? And again, there's that word body. How do we incarnate? How do we manifest? How do we immanently express the serious messages, the gifts that have been revealed through psychedelic experiences and through our connection, through our reconnectedness facilitated by our aromatic allies? Now, you might think aromas are just another way to mollycoddle people undergoing psychedelic therapy, like music or eye masks or soft lighting and pillows. But I know aromas operate at another level. It was the psychedelic pioneer Stan Grof, MD, who said when you do psychedelic therapy, there are three intelligences in the room: the clients, the sitters or guides, and the psychedelic substances. I say, when we work with an alive aromatic ally in psychedelic therapy, there are four intelligences in the room: the clients, the sitters or guides, the psychedelic substances, and the aromatic plants. I'm not sure where you're at, but I hope you allow yourself to explore the power of aromatic allies in psychedelic therapy and by themselves. My vision is that all psychedelic therapy is enhanced with aromas, so we take its lessons seriously and we reconnect and feel deeply transformed. Often, psychedelic therapy isn't as powerful and transformative as people hope. I think this is because of their ego. Our default mode network set up a barrier of resistance, of fear, of specifically a fear of letting go. And people yearn for transcendence, which is really immanence, and they yearn for connection. And these aromatic molecules of connectedness help people achieve this. Aromas can be used during and also before and after psychedelic therapy. And I think especially after is important because integration is important to maintain the shift in understanding, to embody it, to live in reconnectedness. Now, why did I shift from mainstream conventional psychiatry to working with aromatic allies and holistic healing? Honestly, I became frustrated with the limited benefit and the not just potential harm, but also visible harm that both medications and diagnoses in psychiatry have caused. Medications and diagnoses have disabled people. I feel instead that we're all on journeys of healing and transformation, and being disabled can block us from this. In contrast, holistic to me means paying attention to all parts of the psyche, especially the unconscious, the transpersonal, which is the source of all life. When we pretend the unconscious doesn't exist, which a lot of my colleagues do, and which the act of prescribing medication does, our unconscious powerfully rules us. The more we pretend it's not there, the more powerful it is. When we try to open the doors to the unconscious, which I think is really the unknown, unconscious, invisible drive underlying this boom, this interest in psychedelic therapy, we can learn to become more whole. And aromatic allies really open the door to the unconscious. They get us out of ego, they get us out of default mode, and they make us more connected. And I think the worst symptom that many people have told me and that I've seen who have been diagnosed is cut-offness, is loneliness. But not just people who are diagnosed. Loneliness and cut-offness is the main disease of modern humans. We seek to reconnect. We want to be more alive. And the aromas, the molecules of connectedness, help us reconnect, to feel more whole in connectedness to more of ourselves, to our surroundings, to our ancestors, to our loved ones, to our community, to nature. How do I see scent working alongside psychedelics and therapy? I feel both psychedelics and scents help us overcome this cut-offness I just talked about. There are several areas and pathways in the brain where both aromas and psychedelics act, and I can go into more details in a future presentation. And psychedelics and aromas have a very similar chemical structure. For example, saffrol, which is an aromatic molecule in sassafras and other plants, and MDMA, they're only tiny, tiny difference. And Sasha Shulgin, the chemist who rediscovered and synthesized a lot of psychedelic molecules, noticed this. And he said, nature is trying to tell us something. Aromatic molecules and psychedelic molecules are really cousins or letters in the same alphabet. And traditional cultures have known this about aromas and incorporated them into ritual, with and without psychedelics. For example, in ancient Egypt, Blue Lotus was central to their origin of the world story. It was the first thing that happened is Mother Sky and Father Earth get together, and their child is the Blue Lotus. And Blue Lotus is both a very powerful aromatic and psychedelic. In ayahuasca ceremonies, Palo Santo incense and Agua de Florida are used. Um, so the role of aroma is really important. In Native American church ceremonies, cedar, which is really juniper, and sweetgrass and other aromatic plants are used as incense. Even in several psychedelic studies, essential oils have been used. For example, Matt Johnson's study on using psilocybin to help smoking cessation used black pepper essential oil. A lot of people don't know that. I want to briefly mention which aromatic alloys I found to be really helpful. I already mentioned rose otto, and it's really central because it opens the heart and it allows you to surrender more. And after that, it depends on your intention where it takes you. If you're ready to feel feelings you buried for a long time, for example, since childhood, we have found that helichrysum essential oil powerfully allows you to access those. If you're ready to really face your shadow, what's hiding in your unconscious that you're unaware of, but that's influencing your life, and that you're ready to become aware of to transform, labdanum is the master of shadows. If you're struggling with committing to changing behaviors to the path forward, galbanum helps you make you commit instead of sort of waiting around or not committing or struggling with that. And all of these are actually in our psychedelic therapy support kit. A little more. If you're ready to connect with your ancestors, and this is really, I have to say, advanced and takes guidance and support, but marigold essential oil is really powerful for connecting with the ancestors. And if you're ready to connect with the dark goddess who rules the unconscious, who rules the feminine, those parts that will never become part of patriarchy, there are several essential oils that can take you into her realm. I also want to mention that scent can act as a bridge for people who might not have access to psychedelics but still seek healing. In fact, the corollary of that is that psychedelics can create an invisible barrier. They can trap people into thinking that you need psychedelics. We don't need psychedelics. Psychedelics are really just a mirror or truth serum. They remind us of our innately human capacity to reconnect and to live in reconnection. Psychedelics are helpful, but we don't need them. If we think we need them, we've been tricked by our ego. What we do need is to reconnect. And aromas help us reconnect, but don't trick us like psychedelics. They keep us in immanence, right here, right now, this sacred moment, and they keep us conscious. So we remember that we can and we need to, and it's our responsibility to be open hearted and practice feeling connectedness. I have some advice for therapists or individuals wanting to incorporate aromatherapy into their healing practice. A, it will be profoundly helpful. Be ready for feeling connected. Be ready for change. This effect is really based on your relationship with the essential oil. To start smelling essential oils deeply, repeatedly, like we just did earlier, aromatic allies will reveal many things, and it's better to start with a few close allies than too many. And if you're ready to go deeper, to learn more and take action, we offer kits, oils, and trainings. Consider our psychedelic therapy support kit and our classes. Check out aromanosis.com. Just want to close with this thought. In every breath, we're inhaling history. Scent carries us beyond time into memory, emotion, and healing. Let scent be your guide, your anchor, your sacred doorway. May you leave onward from this presentation with a deeper connection to your senses, your inner world, and the healing power that already resides within you.